It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on a two-word screen. I like to get out here and give my unique perspective, because after 48 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and I tell you to tell about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Kathmandu. Got some plays over in Kathmandu this week. Appreciate it. Gracias, gratitude. Todo rabah. And Kathmandu. I think I'm going to Kathmandu. I really want to. And if I ever get out of here, that's what I'm gonna do. So anyways, Kathmandu, that song I just sang, I heard that song a long time ago. Heard it and didn't even know what he was talking about. It wasn't until I became an adult and found out that Kathmandu was actually in Nepal. And this whole time I didn't know he was talking about Kathmandu and that dude is Bob Seger. I never knew he was talking about Kathmandu. I thought it was some made up word. And in the future I found out like, bro, he's talking about a cool town over in Nepal. Very cool. So anyways, thanks for listening. Appreciate God's gratitude. And just FYI, back then with school radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I never went to Kathmandu. If I just would have went to Kathmandu, then maybe that would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't. And that's what allowed me to become the greatest podcast in the Matrix. Some to debate might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet. So it's gotta be true, right? Because on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix, sky, mountain, clouds, rain, snow, sleet. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're online, just be aware, just watch out. And let's go Ramby Hall David Warren. Let's get ready to podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I rap. And a couple months ago, I rapped again. I dropped a song called Do What Is Necessary. Now, Do What Is Necessary is basically me talking about doing what is necessary. I'm rapping in there inspirational, motivational words to help keep me on the path of doing what is necessary. Because as we walk planet Earth, as we live our lives, sometimes we get stuck in a rut. And it's necessary to do what is necessary to get out the rut and be successful and thrive, right? So if you want to do what is necessary and you want to hear a song about doing what is necessary, I'll put the link below to my track called Do What Is Necessary. It's an experimental spoken word, crazy beats, crazy rhymes of me rapping only the way I can. I'll put the link below. Now, let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I made it. And if you heard the last podcast, you know what I'm talking about. Last podcast, I said there was potentially going to be a crazy, wild snowstorm in my neck of the woods. And my neck of the woods is the Midwest, Lansing, Michigan, to be exact. And ladies and gentlemen, the snow was absolutely crazy. The temperatures were absolutely crazy. But I made it. It's not my first rodeo, bro. I've lived in this state for a long time. And I've experienced a lot of snowstorms. A lot of winters, a lot of cold, a lot of ice, a lot of slush, a lot of driving around in the snow, rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. Didn't matter. I've been driving in the snow for a long time. I've been dealing with the wind for a long time. I've been dealing with the snow for a long time. The ice, the frost. I've been going through it, bro. This is not new to me. So I knew I would survive the storm, bro. But sometimes I just don't like going through it because I got to drive in it. Fortunately, this time I was just at the house chilling in the casa. But you know what though? I did get up. I did start my car. I did go around the block. I did get a coffee from the local coffee shop. Brought it back, had some bagels, right? I just want to see what the roads are like. And one of those days, the roads are crazy, bro. I was out there driving, bro, very carefully with my coffee and my bagel, bro. Like, just like, bro, should I really came out for this coffee bagel? Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it, bro. You only live once. So anyways, I made it through the snowstorm. And now it is time to podcast. And this week, I got to see a show about the most famous person from the town I live in. Bro, believe it or not, we have a very well-known, very successful, very famous, possibly GOAT out of the city I live in. And I'm talking about the show called They Call Me Magic, about the one and only Magic Johnson. Now, before I get into that, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in Apple. I have to be clear and transparent to let you know. Now I told you that, let's get into They Call Me Magic. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just start out by saying this. You ever seen those lists of GOATs online? About the GOATs of basketball? Right? You've probably seen them. You've seen all the conversations where they talk about the GOATs of basketball. You know the names that come up all the time. The names are always coming up with he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, this is the GOAT, bad GOAT. GOAT's not bad. But you know, GOATs, right? GOATs are always coming up. You know who I don't see on that list? A lot of times I don't see this guy on the list. I don't see my guy Magic Johnson on those lists. And I'm thinking like, really? He's not coming up in the conversation on these lists? Do you know about Magic Johnson? Do you really know about him? Well, if you do not, I highly recommend you check out this documentary. Because after watching this documentary, you might readjust your GOAT list. Let me just run down and tell you why you might. Because first of all, this man in the game of basketball won a high school championship. That's right, he won at the high school level. Yeah, and then he moved on to the collegiate level. Guess what? He won a championship there. Yeah, he did. And then he went to the pro level. Guess what he did there? Won multiple championships there and MVPs. Right, he did that. Oh yeah, and then he went to the Olympics and won gold medal as well. High school championship, college championship, professional basketball NBA championship, gold medal, MVPs. Huh? Pull up your favorite guy. How many of your favorite guys have done that? Just that right there. How many of your favorite guys have done that? Pull up your favorite guy. Who is it? Who is your favorite guy? Who is your GOAT? Has he done that? Possibly not. And chances are your favorite guy, no disrespect to your favorite guy, probably hasn't done that. He probably hasn't done that. But wait, my favorite guy has shoes. He's got shoes, bro. Well, guess what? I wore Magic Johnson shoes when I was in high school. He had shoes for a small moment of time, and they said Magic right on them. I wore them. Wait, my favorite guy has a business empire. Yeah, well, so does Magic Johnson. And this gentleman comes from the same town I live in, the same space, the same streets, the same buildings. One of the greatest basketball players and businessmen of all time comes from my hometown, the place I live right now. Put up your favorite guy. Chances are he's not done that. You need to readjust your GOAT talk. You need to readjust your list. Adjust your GOAT talk, bro, because this dude is probably the GOAT. I'm just saying. Put your guy up. Anyways, I know the GOAT list is subjective, but really, you might want to adjust your list after watching this documentary. Because once you see this documentary, you're like, bro, I need to rethink my list. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to do that. You should definitely watch this documentary just so you can readjust your GOAT list, because you're probably going to have to do that. But anyways, this documentary basically documents Magic's life up until now. And going from a young kid to a basketball player, to dealing with some adversity with a health scare, to become a sharp businessman, to his relationships with his wife and his kids, and all the different things that a human being experiences, just at a very high public eye level. And I'm proud to say that this man comes from the same town I'm from. After seeing this documentary, I was so inspired to keep on podcasting, to keep on rapping, keep on rhyming, keep doing my thing. Because if Magic can do it, guess what? So can the Captain. And I even have a cool nickname like him. They call him Magic. They call me the Captain. We brothers, bro. But anyways, what I want to do with this podcast is what I do with every podcast I do. So let me get into it. So in the show, Magic Johnson has a kid, right? Well, the kid had a kid. Now, as the kid gets a little older, the kid's beliefs and ways of being slightly is different than the way Magic might want him to be at first, right? Okay. And so what I liked about this, and I don't like the fact that he didn't agree with the lifestyle, but what I like about this is that in my experience of being a human being, and being the generation I'm in. I am familiar with the generation that came before me. I've had a lot of conversations with them, a lot of talk, a lot of conversations over 47 years with the generation before me. And that generation sees the world in a certain way that differs than my viewpoint and the people that came after me, right? And sometimes in the world we live in, you're going to come in contact with other generations that think, live, and their way of being is slightly different than yours, or maybe a lot different than yours. And being from the old school mentalities, how will you react when you encounter these ways of being? Now in the show, Magic Johnson was a little about his son at first. But then he shifted his thinking and shifted his mind like, bro, this is my son. I got your back. I love you no matter what. And he even says in the documentary, at first he was a little, but then he said, nah, bro, I got to bend my thinking. I have to adjust my thinking, right? A very wise man. Because in my life experience, walking the path of life, as we navigate the timeline, the world will change a lot significantly. And if you get fixated on one way of thinking and not open to multiple viewpoints, multiple perspectives, multiple way of walking planet Earth, multiple way of being and living, you will not flourish, succeed. You need to be adaptable. At least that's what I think. I feel that will serve you well. And in the show, it's shown that Magic Johnson is adaptable, right? And maybe that's why he's so good at business. Also in the movie, Magic Johnson also showed other beings who might have been fixed in their way of thinking and showed them a different way, viewpoint, perspective, and change their mind, right? This is the magic of Magic Johnson. Because in the show, he wanted to start these businesses, right? And he wanted to start these businesses in communities that established businesses weren't really looking at or thinking about, or had a certain way of thinking about these communities. And it took Magic Johnson to go to these business leaders and show them, bro, you may think this particular community, this particular place, space, is a certain way and a certain way of being, but let me show you how it really is. Why don't you come down here and see this in action? See how it is. Let me show you, bro. Let me show you how business can thrive in these communities, right? Right? They like coffee just like you, bro. It's a quote from the show. So magic magically opened the viewpoints and optics of established businessmen from previous ways of thinking in generations. Magic, baby. Not only is Magic able to open his mind, but Magic was able to open others' minds. And I love that. Because I feel, like I said, navigating the world, this is a superpower that we need, right? You may think no. You may think, bro, I am very satisfied with my way of thinking. I'm right. They're wrong. You're wrong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the current state of the globe has a lot of people from a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different generations clashing in their beliefs. I think this is right. They think this is right. And we are clashing. But in order to thrive in a world, we need to be open to many ways of being and thinking. That's just my opinion. And if you're able to do that, you will go far in life. So I think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe being fixed mindset is the way to go. I don't think so. I think history in life has shown if you're adaptable, open, you will be more successful. So do you want to be successful like Magic Johnson? Be a champion. Own tons of businesses. Thrive. Help the less fortunate. Help communities. Help planet Earth be a better version of itself. Then open that mind. This is one of the key lessons I got from the documentary is that we need to open our mind to different ways of being and different possibilities, different ways of thinking about different lifestyles and ways of being, right? I mean, because, you may be a certain way. You may think a certain way. My generation, we do it like this. We've always done it like this. This is how we do it. This is how it's done. It's like this. And like I said earlier, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people that think that way. And no disrespect to them, I love them. They're great people, right? But if we want to take our life and the world's life to that next level, then it might be necessary just to open your mind just a bit. Not just a bit, a lot of it. And look for new ways of doing things, new perspective, new ways of being, accepting, empathetic, open. And we will thrive and the earth will thrive. And that is a lesson I got from Magic Johnson. Not just he's a GOAT at basketball, not just he's a great businessman. Of course, he's a great basketball player, probably the GOAT. Of course, he's a great businessman. Of course, he's a great advocate. But really, what got him through all those spaces, the ability to open his mind to new ideas, his ability to shift and pivot and use his talents and skills in the given moment when it's necessary in that given moment, in that given space. So he's able to navigate through many different worlds and be strong and powerful in all those different worlds he moved in because he has a growth mindset. And he's open to new ideas. He's open to change his mind as well because he did think a certain way with his son, but he's able to shift that and change that mind when it was necessary. And this is why he's a champion, not only in the court, not only in the business world, not only in dealing with health things. He's a champion in life because he's able to do that. So if you want to see the GOAT, if you want to see a great human being, you need to check out this documentary. And one additional thing too, he's from the same place I come from. You always wonder why the captain's so great? That's why. So anyways, thanks for listening. Appreciate guys' gratitude. And until next time, we'll see. To be successful, you must accept all challenges that come your way. You can't just accept the ones you like. Mike Gafka. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.